Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how you can use variables inside Svelte styles. So here I have a Svelte application where there's a hello world and I have a range input over here and a color picker. So when I change the input size, you expect to change the size of the font, as well as if I change the color, it's going to follow it as well. So today I'm going to show you how I'm going to create this example. So first thing first, here as we can see, this is the basic setup of the example. I have two variables over here, size and color. And here I bind the input value to the size. So when I change it, it should change accordingly. And I bind the value of color to this input color picker. So I should update the hex value of the color as well. So now we want to apply that the size and the color to our paragraph hello world. So here I'm going to type it out I'm going to use like font size equals to size and color equals to color. And voila, here you have it. So whenever I change the font size, the font of the paragraph will change, and I change the color of the paragraph will change as well. Some of you may ask that whether can I write the styles inside a style tag instead of having it as a style attribute over here. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. Right, so I'm going to copy this style out and create a style tag. I'm going to paste the style in. So P, I'm going to paste it in over here. Going to format it nicely. And immediately you can see that this is an invalid CSS syntax, right? That's what it's complaining over here, line 14. So you can't use brackets inside a style tag that is not valid CSS. So this means that we can't use Svelte variables inside a style tag, right? So what we can do instead is we use what we call a CSS Custom Properties instead. So we can use a variable called size and a variable called color over here. And so if you declare, say, size equals to 44 pixels, and here you go that the size of the paragraph is 44 pixels, right? So we can use CSS Custom Properties over here. So one good thing you can do with it is that, say, if you declare, say, the color equals to brown, and you can reuse that for, say, border color, var color 1 pixel solid, right? So you can reuse that color, variable color, in not just a color. Could be a border color, it could be a shadow color, right? So is there a way that you can use Svelte variables over here inside your style tag? Yes, there is way. So here I'm going to show you how you can do that. So similarly, like what we have done previously, we can actually copy these two lines and paste it in the style attribute. So let me clean it up a bit. So yep. So instead of providing like size 44 pixels, here we can replace it with Svelte variables, so size and color. And immediately you can see that the size is now font size 32 and color is red. And as I change it, you can see that it changes as well. So I can change the color of the border as well. Now we change it to something like yellowish green, right? So this is a way that you can pass Svelte variables into the style tag, right? So let me summarize it. You pass the Svelte variables as a custom properties, and you can use that custom properties within a style declaration in the style tag. So some of you may feel this is inelegant, as in you use a style tag and like you have to declare variables this way, and some of you may argue that it's a bit verbose. So here, what I'm going to show you next is to use what we call a Svelte actions to do that for us. So here I'm going to paste in the Svelte actions and I'm going to explain how it works. So I have a function called CSS variables. It takes in a node and the variables itself. So to use it, I could do it this way. So let me clean this up and use CSS variables. And instead of like a string, I can pass in an object. So I can pass in size equals to size and color equals to color. Or the other way around, where you love shorthands, this could be a more compact way of writing it. So I think, let's see, so the color is changing, but not the font size, right? Because we are supposed to pass in fonts as a string pixel value. So here I can say size pixels, and here we go. Right. So now let's take a look at how the Svelte actions CSS variables work. So an action follows the following rules. It takes in two arguments. So the node that you are going to apply the actions to. So the HTML element. So in this case, is the paragraph, and variables will be the arguments being passed into the actions. In this case, would be this object itself. Right. So you can do however you want with the node and the variables, and you can return the next. So here we are going to do what we call a set CSS variables. We're going to show you later, but this function itself will return an object. So the object usually will contains two methods. One is called updates, which is being called whenever the variables or the objects being passed is updated. And then you can also return the method called destroy, which is called whenever the node is being destroyed when the component is unmounted. Right, so in here, whenever the variable is changed, we're going to call set CSS variables again. So let's take a look at what set CSS variables do. So in set CSS variables, we are going to loop through the object variables and going to call node.style.set property. So this will set us a CSS custom property called name and the value of the property. Right. So in other words, it's going to do the same thing as what we've done previously, where we have a style attribute and pass in the two properties, the color and the size. But now we are doing it programmatically, so it makes the code, I would say, somewhat easier to the eyes, where you can do it like this way. Yeah, so here is another way that you can use Svelte actions to do that for you. One last thing, I feel that this code itself is slightly inelegant to my eyes, so I'm gonna do some refactor on here. So one thing I can do is that I can pass in size as a number, but I can use that number and times 1 pixel. So I will convert the number into pixel value. So here I can now simply pass in size as a number, and then that number times 1 pixel. So if it's 32, with 32 times 1 pixel will be 32 pixels. And that would get rid of having to write pixels as a string in here. Right, so let's verify it still works. Yay, it still works. Right, so there you go. Using Svelte actions to pass in Svelte variables into the style tag, and you can use it in your style decorations. Thank you. Thank you for staying through this video. If you like it, please do like and comment down below. If you like more of this content, do let me know in the comments as well, and subscribe my YouTube channel. or follow me on Twitter at Li Hao Tan. Thank you. Bye bye.